Today we're going to be looking at an extremely rare and obscure Plants vs. Zombies plush that barely has any information about it. As well, this plush set barely has any documentation of it, and I was only able to find one image of the entire plush set, so yeah, it's just really obscure and rare, and there's basically no documentation of it. So yeah, with that said, welcome to a look at the Plants vs. Zombies Kai Hong plush set. Starting off with the first plush in the set, we have the Walnut. Now, just by looking at this Walnut plush's face, you could obviously tell that it looks significantly different than the majority of the Walnut plushes that have been made by other companies. As well, instead of just using a normal design that's usually based off of Lincoln like most bootleg companies, this plush actually uses its own unique design. And well, I would actually say they did a pretty good job with this Walnut plush as well, but it has its own unique design to it, and in my opinion, it looks pretty good. As well, the embroidery on the face looks pretty nice, and it seems to be pretty high quality from the one image that we have of it, but it's pretty hard to tell. The material inside the eyes is most likely a felt material as well. That's what the majority of the bootleg companies use, but we don't really know for sure as well. There's only one image of it and it's pretty low quality. But yeah, the only things that look slightly weird about this plush is that for some reason the embroidery on the eyebrows are just pretty thick for some reason instead of just being normal like the mouth, but besides that it looks pretty good. And it does seem that they did a pretty good job using the walnut shape and they made it look pretty accurate. And well, I don't actually know if there's a suction cup on any of these plushes with a string as well. From the images that I have of these plushes, it doesn't seem that they do, but it is possible because we barely have any images of them. But yeah, if you want any of the plushes in this set, you basically have no chance of finding any of them, but you could look on eBay or Zanu, but the chances of you finding them is basically zero. Moving on, we have the Kernel Pole. Now, once again, just like the Walnut plush, it actually uses a somewhat unique design. As well, instead of just fully copying Lincoln's design and other bootleg companies' designs, because they actually made the Kernel Pole a different shape, so it just looks slightly different than the others. But yeah, the stitching on the face once again looks pretty good. The eyebrows are pretty high up on the face for some reason, as well they're supposed to be closer to the eyes. And well, for whatever reason, the actual kernel part of the Kernel Pole is pretty skinny and it should be a bit wider to make it look more accurate. But yeah, the leaves on these plushes are just slightly too skinny, but besides that, they're basically exact copies of other plushes of Kernel Pole, especially like the Lincoln one. And well, the leaves are most likely either glued on or stitched onto the plush's body, but it's most likely glue as well, but that's a lot cheaper and easier to do than stitching it on. But yeah, once again, we can't really tell if it has a suction cup or string on it, due to us only having one image of the plush. Moving on, we have the Single Cherry. Now, this is very clearly based off of the Lincoln design, as well that's literally what every single Applebaum / Single Cherry plush is based off of, as well Lincoln was the original creators of it. And well, the leaf base on this plush is basically a copy of the limited edition one, as well it has the dimples just like the limited edition one. But it does seem to be a quite lime green shade of green instead of being a normal dark green color. I don't really know why they did that as well, but I think it looks better with a dark green, but for whatever reason they made it a limer green color. And well, the stem is most likely pretty well stuffed as well, but standing in the image, so that means that the stem has to be pretty well stuffed to be able to keep the plush standing up. And well, the embroidery is basically an exact copy of the Lincoln plush. The only reason why it doesn't quite look the same as well, the head of this plush is kind of flat looking, so if it was a more of a rounded shape, it would basically be the exact same. And well, the stem on the top of the head is the exact same as every other Applebaum plush. But yeah, this is definitely the least unique plush in the entire set as well, but basically is an exact copy of the Lincoln plush and also the limited edition Applebaum plush, so yeah, it's basically an exact copy of those two. And well, moving on to the next plush, we have the Zombie. Now, this is definitely the most unique plush in the entire set, and I actually have no idea which zombie they were actually going for while making this plush as well, but it doesn't really resemble any zombie in the original game. But the zombie that this plush is most likely based off of is the ladder zombie. But it is missing a few details such as the mustache and well, obviously the latter part of the plush and a few other smaller details, but that's really the only zombie I could kinda tell that's based off of, main reason being the shirt. As well, the only zombie in Plants vs. Zombies that has a similar shirt to this plush is this ladder zombie, and it also has blue pants, which the ladder zombie also has, so that's the only zombie that I could see this plush being based off of. But it could also be based off of something completely different as well. We know with Lincoln, they sometimes base their plushes off of fake leaks, so yeah. So honestly, there could be a chance that it's just based off of some Plants vs. Zombies fan art. But yeah, for the plush itself, the face is pretty unique, and I actually think this is a completely unique plush. And I honestly don't think this company copied any details off of any other plushes, so that's one really good thing about them. And while the face's proportions are kind of weird, as well the bottom of the face is really well stuffed, and also the eyes just kind of bulge out of the head. And I'm assuming details like the teeth, the nose, and the pupils inside of the eyes are probably stitched on, but I can't really tell due to the quality of the image. But that's what it's most likely made out of, as well I don't really see any other materials they could possibly be made out of. The coat on this plush is most likely made out of the exact same material as the Langston plushes, as well by the looks of it, it seems to be made out of a pretty similar material. But it is a completely unique design, which is one thing that I have to give this bootleg company, as well they did a pretty good job making their own unique plush, especially for the zombie. The hands on this plush seem to be pretty obviously copied from Langston though, as well they basically use the exact same design, and the stitching on the fingers are basically the exact same. It's kind of hard to tell from this image, but it does seem that the zombie has blue pants on, and it also seems that the shoes on them are brown. I can't really tell if the shoes have any details, well they're kind of just being cut off by the image, but I'm assuming they probably don't, as well all I could really tell from this image is that they're just a brown shoe. I'm guessing that the pants on this plush are made out of a very similar material as the shirt, and it probably uses the exact same material as Langston's does. But out of any single plush in this set, the zombie plush is actually the most likely one for you to get, as well I actually saw it for sale once. Sadly, I don't have the image of the plush, so I still only have this one image of it, as well I went back to the listing with a link, but the listing got taken down. But yeah, if you do want this plush, you can look on eBay or Zanyu, and I have seen one for sale before, so this is definitely the highest chance of getting this plush in a set, but it's still extremely rare, as well that's probably one of the only times that all has been for sale. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, then please like and subscribe, and comment down below which plush it is your favorite, and yeah, have a great day.